Okay, good afternoon to everyone. It is audible. Okay, so in now we have been discuss with you about the file handling, right? How the file should be created using the Python, so that whatever the data which are going to be given to the program, that may take from the file, and whatever the output your program is going to generate, that should be stored permanently into a file. Okay, so for that purpose we are required various file handling operations which are provided by Python, and hope you understood the concept which was discussed. Fine. So now I am going to be talk about again little bit about the function, and then I am going to discuss about another important concept, that is modules, package and library. So how we can create our module, what do you mean by module, what do you mean by package, what do you mean by library. So these things we are going to discuss. So one key point which I want to emphasize about the function is regarding the parameter passing. So we have different way by which parameter can be given to the function. So now you can observe here in the function, we can give the argument to the function by using the keyword argument, or with the variable length argument, or maybe the default argument. And it is necessary that whenever your function is supposed to take some argument, in that case that argument should be need to be assigned when that functions are going to be called. So during that calling of the function, we are required to give the parameter. So such parameter which we are giving to the function during the calling of a function is known as the actual parameter, whereas the parameter which we are defining during the creation or declaration of the function, those arguments are known as the formal parameter. Okay, so required arguments are such arguments which are necessary to be given to a function. For example, if you want to create a function in, and we are writing this is the def sum, and we are giving some parameter a and b, and going to be return a plus b. So sum is going to return. If you want to call this some function in the calling program, so we are supposed to call that function by writing the name of the function, and since it is returning, so we can take some left hand parameter, that is l value x, to the assignment and giving some values, say 30 and 40. So here this is the necessary to give all the relevant number of argument to this particular function. If we will miss any argument which is not going to become equal to the total number of arguments which are required into this calling function, then we will get an error. This is also one point we have to note down, that whatever the argument we are giving here in this function, that is basically one kind of positional argument we are giving, meaning that the first position, it means the first value which are giving or the variable which are giving, that will be associated with the first argument within the function definition. Second will be with respect to the second argument in the defined function. So this is the positional argument which we are required to give, and they are given to that particular variable. If we are going to call that sum as a 40 minus 30, it means that to this a 40 will be assigned, for b minus 30 should be assigned. So this position matter. In case we are going to give the less number of argument, in that case we will get a appropriate error, that I will demonstrate with a small example. Second is going to come as a keyword argument. Okay, so when we are going to give these arguments as a 30 or 40 suppose, then we does not know whether this 30 is for b or for a. So that association are going to be based on the position. It means first will be always going to be referred to the first argument, second should be assigned to the second argument which has been declared in the function definition. But if this order is going to be changed, they are going to be assigned 40 to A and 30 to B. So we are required to be careful about the position of the variable which we are taking during the definition of the function, and in that order we have to give during the call of the function. If we does not want to worry about these position, then we can give the argument by name. In that case we should call the sum like sum, here you can take y, and give some name to that argument. So what name we are giving? A equal to say minus 30, comma b equal to 40. Although if you want to make it to be b equal to minus 30, a equal to 40, so they are going to be considered to be in the appropriate order. So order or position we does not require to remember while we are going to be do the calling of the function. Other way of making the parameter passing was the variable length. Variable length of the argument. Might be possible that we does not know how many number of arguments we are going to be required to be passed at a particular call of the function. So in that case we can give more than many number of arguments within the function definition, and from that argument whatever the different values or argument parameter which you are interested, we can use and process in our program. Other is going to become a default argument. In case we are not going to be give any parameter, and in the definition we have been declared that argument as a default, in that case the program will not give the error, but it will take by default those argument as a parameter value which are given to the called function. Okay, so let us take example of this one and just check what is happening. So we are taking this one of the multiply function, declaring one of the multiply function where we are giving a definition multiply number, maybe multiply say 3 number. One function we made multiply 3 numbers and we are giving here maybe another number say z. Okay, and we want to multiply that one. So multiply x into y into z, and then we are displaying the result of this multiplication. Here we are not getting back some argument when the function are going to be executed. Now if you want to call this one, there are 3 ways. One is that I am taking also some argument here as 1. Now if you want to call this function, we are required to here there is a error. What error is coming? While scanning string literal, so syntax error is there. It means that here we does not specify the port in the port the string. Now it is going to become work, but here name x is not defined. Okay, we are taking the small x and small y. Okay. So this way our interpreter will going to be give us various kind of hint. Through that we can able to check at those error statement which are coming, and accordingly we can able to make our program to be corrected. Now check here. In this case, if I am going to call this multiply 3 number, and it is not necessary that we should give the argument. If we are not giving the argument, in that case, still that multiply 3 number functions are going to work perfectly. Okay. And if you want to give some value, we can also give here for another way. And suppose we want to give for here we are using the one option to give the value is, suppose we are giving the 10, 20, 2. Okay, so we are given these 3 parameters. Multiply 3 number. Okay. Still we can get the outcome and the function working. In this case we can try different variations. Variations in the sense that we can able to take this multiply 3 number and suppose we want to give only last parameter. In that case I can use the keyword argument. So z equal to say 1 say and 10. Now this will also going to work. Or if you want to give, now here suppose I am giving the some argument, say I am given the 4 and comma z10. So how many argument this multiply 3 number required? This will be required at least 3 argument. But what we are doing, we are giving one argument which does not used as a keyword argument. So this interpreter could not able to associate that port should be given to whom, to x or y. So this will create one kind of confusion. But what it does here, what it is doing here basically, let us take this 1 and take this to be as a 2. What is happening here? If you are going to closely look at this one, it is taking 1 and taking 2 as a z and taking y to be as a 8. So this is coming 16. If we are giving the less number of argument, in that case what will happen, that first argument, because it is now it will consider as a positional argument. So first argument which we are giving, that will be taken to the first argument x, and second we does not specify anything, so they will assume the second to be as a default value 8, and the third we are giving by z equal to 2. It means we are giving that z should be assigned the value of 2 as a keyword argument. So this will going to be considered this z as a 2. But if suppose we are going to be not giving this y to be as a default, then let's see what is happening. Now we are getting the error, because now in this case y need to be a second parameter, and that we have to give in the calling of the function, and that is required to be mandatory to give this value, otherwise this will not going to be assigned to the y. So these kind of variations we have to remember when to give the with argument, when give without the keyword argument. Okay, so that we are required to be remember. Now another important point we have to note about the keyword argument. If suppose we are going to give here first argument as z1 and z equal to 2, and here we are giving say 5. Now let's see what is happening, what we are getting. First argument will take as a positional, second they are given for the z to 2 and 5. It does not going to associate with that position, because z is already taken as a default argument. If we are going to give other variations of this one, let us check which variations are going to work. X equal to 1, will that work? That is also not going to work. Okay, that is also not going to work. But if we can give here 10 and then we are giving the z equal to 5, then this is going to work. Z equal to this is not working. But when we are going to give these as a first two as a positional argument, and we can give second as a positional argument, third we can give as a keyword, then they are going to work. So whenever they are going to become keyword, it means that, let's change this and look in other than default, let us check it as a keyword. So what we can do, 7, yes, that will work. X given to be 7, y and zy, that will work. It means I can give only 2 argument, third they are going to take as a default. So now here suppose it is a normal function you written, and then we are going to give here as a set 3, we are executing. Now it is working. Now here if you want to give these as a positional, keyword argument, so let us check here. We are giving x to be 1, this will be 2, 5, it will work. It will go to, it is not working. Now what we are going to take the second one, second possibility, if you are going to take y to be also as a 2, the number is need to be y, getting some error here. It is supposed to work, but now you can see they are asking for positional argument. So here we are required to remember that we can able to give the values in the first in the keyword, then first we have to give either we have to give as a keyword, then we can give the positional, or we can give as a positional then keyword. So when we are going to give this as a positional and then keyword, it is working. Okay, or we can give all as a keyword. So first we have to give the positional, then as a keyword. But if we are going to take any combination other than this sequence, so what we are getting? We are going to get a error. It means if we are going to combine the keyword and positional argument, so first we are required to give the positional, then you can give only the keyword. Okay? Keyword argument. Otherwise, this will going to give you the error. Now you can make it to be as a, say this is given as a 1, comma y equal to 2, z equal to 5. Now you can check. It is working. Okay. So first positional, then you can start keyword. But intermixing of the positional and keyword, that will not work. Or we can give all to be as a positional, or all we can give as a keyword. So that we have to remember that. Now another was that is variable length argument. Previous class it was session was not worked due to some error. Now here we can check it. Okay. Now you can check it. What we are giving here? We are giving one of the function we are creating. Okay. Make this function to be commented. Check only one function and pf5. Okay. So we are giving the definition my function, and if you want to give it as a variable length argument, then we can able to write a star against one of the variable. And here we are using a sum. Sum is a function. That sum will going to be take all the values into this argument variable, which is a multiple values. That is going to be calculate the sum. So here sum is going to become one of the inbuilt function, which will do the summation of parameters which are given as the argument, and then these are going to be returned to us. So now here once we are going to call it, we are giving print my function, and into this function we have to give more than one argument because it is given as a star. Okay, star say that it can take a multiple argument. Now we are getting a 4, 3, 2, 1, 10. If we are not giving here as a, in that case what, if we are not giving the argument or define not the argument as a variable length argument, then you get a error. What error we are getting? Type error. My function take one positional argument, but 4 were given. It says that in this case my function argument is going to be a single variable. It is one variable, and here we are supposed to give a single value, but we are giving multiple value. Multiple value we are giving here. So this will going to give you the error that my function has the number of argument which we are giving is not matching with the number of arguments which are desired into the my function. So that we can able to make it to be available as an argument. Now here if you want, we can also take various argument and do this the operation with these arguments. Suppose in this case we want to just display only print. What we want to make, because see whatever the multiple argument we are giving, these are going to be taken as a positional argument. So first is known as the first argument, 2 is the second, 3 is the third, 4 is the fourth. So we are going to be display the first, or let us do one thing, we can return it the summation of only second and fourth argument. So we can make return, and we are doing the summation of which argument? argument second and plus the fourth one. It means 3 third index. Now you can run it. What we are getting? Only the second and fourth are going to be added. So this way we can able to give variable number of argument irrespective of how many argument you want to use into your program, and we will not get any error. Okay? So that is the benefit of variable length argument. See, the difference between the default and keyword argument, as I told you that in case it is a default argument. Let us take this example again. Look at the same example. Now we have been given a x, y and z. 3 parameters we are taking and doing the multiplication. If we want to call this function, in that case we have to use the name of function and give 3 arguments. Fine. So now we are getting some output to be generated. Some output came. But assume that the same function I am going to be called again, and we are missing the third argument. Okay, third argument we are missing. Okay. So what will happen here? We are getting the error because the third parameter we are not giving. So in case any parameter we are not giving, so we will get an error and my function will not perform. In case this z I am not providing, I should make here to be a default type of argument. How we are giving the default type of argument? In the definition of function, we should assign some value. Say, we assign the value as a say 4. So it says that z is going to become an argument of type default, meaning that if we are not going to give the third argument, it means at the position third we are not giving any argument, still my program will going to be work and assume that z should be by default 4 if some value are not given. So now run here. Now we are getting 30. So in first case we are giving all 3 values. In that case z will be assumed to be 3, and using the 1, 10 and 3 the operation are going to be performed. If we are not giving the third argument, in that case it will going to be assumed that z will be 4, y will be 10, x will be 1, and in that assumption the computations are going to be take place. So this is the difference between the default and argument and keyword argument. Fine. So this way we can able to use these functions, and we are required to remember that as per our requirement we should always try to define and create a function. We should always take some value which can take some argument and going to be return you back some argument. Even though if you want, you can also able to pass any parameters. Say here what we given, we are giving some x, y, z individual argument. This argument can be a list. It can be a list, or it can be tuple, or it can be dictionary. So whatever argument you want, you can able to give here as a value. So for example, def sum, and we are taking here we are taking one value L. Okay. And now this we are trying to make it for I in L, and going to do some s equal to, we want to perform the summation. So we should take in this sum initialization to be 0, and then we can make s plus L I with the index we are going to access. Okay. and then we can able to come out of this one and return yes. We can call this function by giving some list 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we can call this sum and store in the result r sum, and we are giving this x as the argument, and then we can able to print r. Let's check whether it will work or not. It will work or not. We are getting some error. This is giving some error with the index or a list index out of range. Might be there should be some. There should be some indexing. Okay. Okay. The problem, what is the problem here? Anyone can object? What is the problem? Why this is giving the error? What is the mistake in this code? I am taking one list as an argument and wanted to find out the sum of those items within this list. It is giving index error and list index out of range. What it is coming there? Now what is for I in L? What I will get? I will get I will receive the each individual item from this list are going to be assigned to I. So what we are supposed to sum? We want to suppose to sum the content. L is itself from the list individual items are going to be fetched and given to I. If we are going to run this one, we are going to receive that one. Now this list is int and list unsupported operand type. Okay, I will check it, okay, and revert you back again. Tomorrow I will discuss this code. Let me to check what is the issue is coming. Okay. So this code I will discuss again. Okay. Although some list I have been summed in yesterday's class, I will check in this code and come back to you tomorrow. The same code I will discuss it. Okay. So let us talk about another important concept because time is lacking. We are going to discuss about the modules, package and library. Fine. So what is whatever the program we have been writing? What is the extension of Python program? Where we are writing? Mostly we are writing the program using the Jupyter, Colab, maybe Visual Studio or other online compiler. There we are trying to write on their notepad our program. When we are trying to create our program, we are required to write the program in a file. The name of that file should be the extension of .py, right? .py. So we have to write a name of the program which need to be of. So we are writing a program sum prg and return .py. Py say that our program is a Python program. If we are writing the C program, they have the dot extension C. Java, they have the CPP. Okay, like that, every program have their extension, so that your compiler or interpreter should be able to identify that this is the code of a particular programming language. So we have to create one file because right now we know how to create a file. We can use a notepad or any other editor where the program should be written. Sum underscore program dot py is the name of the program, and here we can write whatever code we are going to be writing. So suppose we are written a equal to int, and we are going to be take a input, and we are going to be write enter value, and then we are taking the a, and b we are taking as a 20, and then we are going to make s equal to a plus b, and we can write the print sum is, okay, and making s. Now this program need to be executed. So instead of, if you are going to use any command interface, command line interface, there we can able to use as a Python, that is the current version of the compiler, and then we have to give the sum underscore program dot py, and now on that command line this code are going to be executed, and that is going to be display the output. So whatever these programs we are creating, that sometimes going to become longer in length, might be that we consist of multiple pages to make the complete program to be able to solve the problem. So modules is required. It means that when our program going to become longer, sometimes we want that this program, it means sum.py, might be required to be split into the several files. So instead of putting all the code in a single file, we can use the modules so that codes are going to be separated and arranged into the multiple files as per their functionality. Suppose we want to create one longer system program where we want to do the sorting, we want to make my program to be do also the some kind of searching, and also they want to perform the program of the calculator. So we are trying to write everything in a single file. Instead of that, we can write different file, one for calculator.py, where only the calculator related functions or code we can write, modules we can write. Other we can write the sorting program.py, which will contain the different functions program which is related to the sorting. One we can write searching .py. So because of this way of arranging our long length code program into different files, we are able to make that our code are going to be organized in a well fashion, and it is also required to be maintained. Suppose we want to add into the calculator some new module, I can directly add here as a definition, say power of x, y, a and b. I can write here the code, and this will be added anywhere easily. Otherwise, assume that all those code are written in a single file. In that case, we have to search that calculator code where it is coming there, then we have to write at some place. So these kind of maintenance and management are going to become different in a single file. So module is basically a file which consists of Python statement, just like a program, or Python definitions. It means various kind of functions. So in that module is nothing but it is a file. Remember, it is a file. That file consists of the Python code. So this module can, it means the file we are saying that module. So just like calc.py is a module. So this calc.py file is a module which contains different functions such as power, or you can define here some list as a some value. Inside that we can give any definition. It can consist of classes or variable or any code which we can write using the Python syntax. So whatever this code we are writing into this file lc.py, that program is going to become executable code. If these code I am going to take and run on Jupyter, Kellogg, Colab, or maybe as an independent code, they are going to be work perfectly. So module means that file consists of runnable code, runnable program. We can make a grouping of related code into a file module that make the code to be easier to understand and use, or even though we can share those modules, those files to individual one, they can write their own functionality related to the sorting, 5-6 sorting program they can write, maybe insertion, bubble sort, quick sort, bucket sort, and in the searching.py, some other can able to write their binary search. Okay, they can write the linear search, they can write any other searching method. In the calculator.py, some other can able to write their own different calculator related functions, and later on these files can be provided and you can able to make this program to be integrated as a one single program where all these functions or variable which we declare can be used in the executable code. Okay, so that way these modules are going to become much more helpful to manage and maintain the code. So module can also contain variable of different types. We can declare the variable in the that modules also. Okay. So remember that here module is not the function, because if you are going to be refer the module term in term of any other programming languages, so modules are generally known as the function procedure. But here in the Python, modules means it is going to become a file which consists of the Python code. Now let us see how the modules can be created. Module we can create and how that can be used. So to create a module, we are required to save the code. It means whatever the program we have written that we want to save in a file, the name of that file should have the extension of py, just like calc.py. That I have to save. Second, I can write the short code.py. Okay, we can save. So all these code are written into these files. Now these files are available with different name, and each file consists of different function, modules, code and program. If we want to use some of the function which are defined into the calc or some of the variable in the sorting underscore code, that we can use in any other file, in any other program. Suppose here it is written that add, here it is written the bubble sort. Okay, some definition are given for bubble sort here for this add. Now these add and bubble we want to use in some other file, because it is already created in the file, we can able to use it. For example, we are using the input, we are using the print, we are using the len, we are using the upper. So these are the various inbuilt functions we are using. Where these functions were written? These functions were written in somewhere in the system file, in the as a library into that Python interpreter compiler, and we are just going to be use that particular modules. That particular functions are variables from that modules which has been kept as a file. So same here, we want to define from our side the modules, and we wanted to use the different functions or the operations which are defined in the module to be used in a program. So once we have created that module in a file.py, we want to use some of the module which are created by us. So how we can use those? We are required to use the import statement. Import module 1, module 2, module n. Okay, so we have to require to use the import. If we want to use this as a module 1, and sometimes the name of this file is going to become longer, so that files can be given as a alternative name, aliasing name, by using the import say your module as ym. So this is the aliasing we are doing. We are trying to give another name to this your module, so that wherever your modules are required, we should refer that module by short notation ym instead of writing y underscore module again and again. So we should import the module and then we can able to use that module. So how we can able to import some of the import some of the functions. For that we are required to use the from. Okay, from name of the module. Here we are required the from. One option that we should use the import module 1, module 2, module 3. These we can give. Or other option is that we should able to import specific attribute from a module. So we can give as a from module name import which module you want. Say name 1, name 2, name n. This means I want to call say from, okay, calci. No need to use the dot extension. Calci, okay, import. What we can do? Add. Second we can do maybe subtract. Okay. It means that from this particular module, which of the functionality or function we wanted to use, that we can do using the import from module. Let us take this example. Here you can see what we are doing. We are creating one of the file squared program.py. In this module, we are defining one of the function. Okay. This function consists of one of the operation which is taking some number and going to be find out the square of that number, and then that square of number is going to be returned. So square we wanted to compute for a given argument, and into this file we also declare one of the list name is the book, list of book, and second we define one of the number list. Okay, so this was kept in one of the separate file. Now I want to write another program, say test prg.py. Okay, in that case, in this I want to find out the square of some number, say 20. So we have to either write how to compute the square of a number 20 by writing the code, or we can use the function which are implemented in the square program.py. Or suppose we want to display the name of book which are declared into the square program.py, I can directly use in the test program which was without doing the declaration. That we can do. So here what we are doing, we are required to use this module, and from this module some functions we wanted to use. So how we can use it? We are required to use the import. At the first statement which are going to come is import. So we have to do the import. What is the name of module? Square program. Remember here we are not using the .py. We are not using the .py. So just the name of modules are required. And then we can able to call import, okay, square program, that we did it like here. Now I can able to use that functions which are defined inside this one. Yeah, it can be in the same folder, it can be different folder. If it is in the different folder, we are required to give the path of that location where that should be available. That will discuss if it will be not available in the same folder. Otherwise we can keep everything in the same folder, there should not be any problem. They will take implicitly from the same folder. But this can be available in any folder, because see there is also one issue that we will discuss after this module. Then it will be much more clear to you. Now, so I will take the square program. Now I have to call the square, SQUARE, and giving some number, say 5. Okay, so this is supposed to return the result. So in the test program.py, we are writing here some result r equal to square 5, and I can do any kind of computation. Say print I made the R. Okay. Now if you want to display the name of the book in the book list, I can directly go and I can able to do the what? I can able to make the print book. I can do that. Or here you can see, because this number is taking some argument. Okay. So if you want to use that, say this square we are using, right? But this square, whatever way, this is the way of calling the function. But here this square is coming from which module, that is not clear. So this way of calling the equal to square 5 will not going to work. Instead of that, here we are required to attach the name of module. What is the name of module? Square program. So we have to write a square program dot square. Let's check here. Name of module is square program dot square. It means in the square program module we are referring the square function. If we want to display the name of book, we should write the square name of module square program dot book, and then we can print. We can print. So square dot program book or square program dot numlist. Remember that in the test program dot py we had not defined the square function, nor we define the book list or number list. Yes, square can be happen in different file, but in that case we are required to see that to which of the modules we are calling the square. So say here square program, like that it can be happening in another module. So from which of the module, from which of the file we are going to call the square, we are required to use the dot square. That need to be used here. Now we are required to write the square program again and again. So we can write the import. One thing I told you, we have to use the as clause. So what we can do, here we can give the alternate name, alias naming. So what we can do, import square program as sp. So wherever I am writing this square program, I should write more concise way, sp dot square file, or we can write the print sp dot book. So that is the benefit of doing the renaming the module name, so that we are not equal to write these things again and again. Hello. वो 7:30 बजे. Fine. So that way we can do. Now let us take another program we are creating, where we have the operation.py. One is the module. This is the one module we are creating. In that module, we are creating the summation, multiply, and we are calculating the area of rectangle, where we are giving the 2 arguments and returning this one. Also, we are trying to find out which one is the largest number among the 3 numbers. So we return one of the definition function. So my operation.py is consist of 3 different functions. So this my operation.py is known as the module. Similarly, if you want, I can create one module here, my operation, that I can make as another name, my calculate operation py. Here I can make one program, area.py. This I can create in another file as a largest.py. So like that, multiple modules file we can able to create it. Okay. So now assume that we use the my operation.py. If it is used, so what we to do that, we are going to be use that in another program test.py. In this test.py, we want to import all those modules which are created, all those functions which are created into the myoperation.py module. So how we can do it? Import name of module myoperation. No need to use the .py extension. Okay, as MQ, so that every time myoperation lengthy name we could not able to write it. Now I am going to call myoperation which function sum. So that sum I should call using the name of module myoperation.sum, so that it will be clear that from which of the module, which of the function we are going to use it. Might be possible that across the different modules, different files, we have been created the function with the same name. So that conflict we can resolve by using the myoperation name of the module with the function which we want to use it, myoperation.sum 1020. Or we can able to use the alternate renamed alias name mo dot multiply we can do, or we can do the mo dot match, we can get this outcome. So this way these modules are going to be useful, which we can create in a separate file, and whenever we want to add any new module, I can add in the file in the most efficient and better way. Fine. If you want to develop your own Python module, so that you can create any module, but in that case we have to check it that those modules how to be added into the Python community. So I am not aware of this one, but we are required to go to that Python community, and they might be given the procedure. Through that you can able to add your own modules and library. But give me time, I am going to be explore this one, and before the end of this FDP I am going to be letting you know. But this we can do. Okay, so that's fine. So we created this module. Now sometimes it is also possible that if you are going to create these modules, I created hundreds of files. File means what? Modules, and they are available in a single folder. So again the problem of maintenance and management is difficult. So we could able to create multiple folders, so that these 100 files can be kept into the multiple folders, so that we can easily manage that this folder contains 10 files related to some kind of sorting. This folder too consists of some which are related to the GUI related code. So like that again we could able to manage. So here we can create a package. Okay. So package is what? It is just like a container which we are saying the folder. So package is going to become a container that contains various functions to perform the specific task. For example, math package, if you are going to talk about, this package is a folder which consists of many functions, square, sqrt, power, and so many. So all the mathematical related functions were implemented in a module, and that was kept into the math folder, which we are saying that it is a math package. So we have to deal with a large amount of code when we are working on the larger project. In that case, writing everything in the same file, structure, in same file directory structure, that will be required to be a difficult and messy task. So we are required to separate our code, it means our module, into multiple files, and keeping those related files and modules in a package. And there should be one package or many packages you can able to create. So package is simply, you can say it is a directory which is a collection of modules. Okay, so a package is hierarchical file directory structure that defines a single Python application environment which consists of multiple modules, or it can also consist of multiple sub-packages, subfolder. Within that subfolder, another many subfolders can be contained in. Okay, so let us take how we can create a package. Modules we know how to create, how to use it. We can able to also create the package. So package is basically a container, as I told you that which are going to be store various functions related to required task. For example, we know we heard about various packages, NumPy, Panda, ACI Kit. Okay, so these are various kind of packages are there. And we can also know many packages which are going to use for different purpose. Matplotlib, Cburn. So these are the various packages which are containing the different modules. Okay, which are going to provide us more useful operations through the use of the functions which are defined into those packages. So how to create a package? For creating a package, suppose we want to create a package student. What it means that we are creating a folder student, that we are saying that it is a package. That folder student must consist of one of the constructor. It means this would be consist of one file. That file name is underscore init underscore dot py. Okay, this file need to be exist into the student folder. If I am creating a package, means one folder. Okay, so we are creating one folder, name is student, the name of package is student, and then this package, this folder should consist of one file dot underscore init underscore dot py, which is known as the constructor. Along with that, it can consist of multiple modules, say student detail, marks detail.py, fees detail.py, institute detail.py. So this way, our this folder consists of many programs, many files, many modules. But this folder should also consist of one of the file. Maybe that file need to be empty, but this must exist into your folder. Underscore init underscore dot py. So this file will tell to the interpreter, Python interpreter, that this folder is a package. For that purpose, it is required. So for a Python to consider that it is a package, not a normal folder, that directly, it means that folder must consist of one file which are named as a init.py. Okay. So this you can see if you want to create many packages. Okay. So what we can do? We are creating one folder institute. Okay. As I told you that whenever we have to create a package, that package must consist of one file. Which one that file? That is the init.py. So that need to be exist into the institute package. And within that I want to create many folder. Okay, this consists of one package institute. In that case, I am creating many small folder. One is known as the student, other is the faculty, other is the hostel. Now into this different folder, we are going to contain again the different modules. Since it is a package, sub package, so that must also consist of init.py, and then the remaining files which are related to the faculty, that I can keep into the faculty folder, which is inside the institute folder, and that faculty folder, because it is a package, so that should be consist of one file under init.py, details of faculty, course which they are taking, salary.py, family detail.py, related functionality are kept into these files. Similarly, hostel related details are kept into the hostel package, having the hostel detail, staff detail, facility and mess detail. But it also contains one file named init init dot py. That is mandatory. Even though that file may not contain any statement, but you have to include that. Right? Now you can check this one. Once we have created the package, to inform Python that it is this particular directory or folder is a package, we are required to create one of the init.py file inside that particular folder. Okay. Now once we have created this one, we are required to need to follow these few steps so that those files are going to be used. First, we are required to create directory. Okay, how to create a package? How to create a package? First, we are required to create a directory. Give that directory one name. You can say package name. Okay, so that can be given like numpy, maybe as a you can give pandas, arrays, like that. Any name you can give, or maybe install. That is one of the package given. Okay. Preferably the name which are given in such a way that by looking at the name of that particular package, we could able to understand what type of operation or functionality that particular package may consist of the relevant file. Then we can put the classes, required functions, variables, dot files within that particular package. Then we are required to create. It means different kind of classes means class and object we'll talk about that we can also create. We can create also the different kind of functions in the file, so that can contain multiple of files. And we should also create one of the init.py file. If we will forget to include the init.py file, okay, in that case that will not be considered to be package, it will be considered to be as a folder. Okay, and this file init.py, if this will going to become empty, it means that all the functions of the modules will be imported. Okay. Now how to import that package, because now this package will consist of the modules. In that case we have to use the import function, import modules. What we want that from a particular package folder I want to import some of the modules. It means some of the functions which were implemented in the import modules from package through the dot operator. How? Suppose we want to import the course module, right? We want to use the course module. Here you can see course modules are available in the faculty package, sub package. So how I can use this course.py module in my program? For that purpose, you should use the import name of the package. What is that package? Import. One option that import course. Course is available into the faculty. Faculty package is available into the institute. So institute.faculty.course. And in case this course module consists of CGPA calculator function, calculation function. In that case, we can import that particular module by using the institute.faculty.course CGPA underscore calculate. Underscore calculate. It means that dot CGPA calculate. So we are required to be say that from this particular course file, I am interested to use only CGPA underscore calculate. So we can import without any package prefix. How? We can use the from construct from institute.faculty import course. That is other way of importing the package. From institute.faculty, from this package and sub package import course. That is other way of importing the module from a package. And thereafter we can use, how we can use a particular function which are available into the course. We are required to write the name of module dot CGPA, name of the function CGPA calculate, and then this will be calculated. So Python are going to look into the list of directory which are defined, where they are going to look for the directory. So generally this directory, or you can say the package which you are creating, that should be defined into the sys.path. So this is one of the system file in which we are required to be mention those packages which are available there, and automatically your interpreter are going to search for those packages inside that system configuration file. And if it will be not available there, keep on checking for the second one, then third one, till that system.path configuration are going to be not seen throughout the complete file. So you can see here how this package is there. So I am creating a package my project. In that my project, we are creating another package project package 1. We can create a package 2, and then this package 1 consists of various modules. .py module 1, module 2, task package 2, then sub package consists of init.py module this one, module 4, and within this sub package 2 again we are creating into the task package 2 and the module, and they also consist of the init.py that mandatory to be required to be contain this particular package. Now if suppose we want to import modules which are available outside of the directory, in that case we are required to be append that particular folder or directly inside a system path configuration file. So how we can do? We can use the sys.path.append. So sys.path variable of the module of the sys, this will be consist into the module sys. They are consist of the list of all the directory in which Python are going to search for a particular module to import. Where they are going to search it? They are going to search into that particular list of directory which are mentioned into the system file. Now this importing whole of the package will not make your system to be slow. Say here we are, suppose in case of my institute I want to use all the modules, sub package and their module, then we can import only the institute, not their sub package. If you want to refer only a particular sub package, then you have to import that up to that particular sub package, that I will show you. It means the level of import we are doing from that package or modules, the functionality are going to be searched for. So let us take how we are doing this one. Say import sys, we are required to importing the sys module, and then we are appending into that one of the path. What we are doing this one, suppose we have been created one of the folder, that is some package, sample package, right? Where I created this folder in my D directory. Inside D there should be a course directory, Python lecture, and then sample package. So now my package will be found in the sample package, which path is given, and that path I should add into the path module, path file. So sys.path.append. So now this package has been included into this particular path file, system path file. So whenever we are going to import the particular module of a sample package, so they are going to check inside this deep folder and going to search for the sample package. By that they are going to be know where that modules we have to search for, and then we can able to import the modules. How import modules? How as usually you can do that one, module.function name. We can directly use the function name which are available into the particular module. As usual we are doing this import. Second option, to do the import of the module available on the outside of the directory, where we should going to be use the insert, okay, because this path consists of list of all directory that will be searched for the module. So there we can also do this one by adding that particular package at the first position in the file. We have this file, here many packages are listed, D, C somewhere, the path is mentioned. So what our interpreter will do, they are going to start scanning for that package starting from the beginning till they can get that folder, and then they go there and search for that particular module. But we want that my modules or the package should be kept at the first position. Then we can use this dot insert, sys dot path dot insert, and making here where I want to make in this sys dot path file at the first position, at the starting position, this entry should happen. This module should be inserted. So there we can make a insert comma the path we are giving there. And then if you are going to import modules, okay, as usual we are doing there. So our interpreter are going to search which are going to found at the first position in the sys.path configuration list. So this you can see how you can create a package. So we have to create one of the folder, small package folder, and inside that, because it is a small package folder, in that we are have to create one of the empty file init.py. In that we are putting various modules, list sum.py, calci-operation.py. Now this calci-operation.py consists of many modules, whatever we made, many functions. Then we want to use that modules from this particular sample package. So we are writing one of the program test.py, and in this program we are going to be import sys, right? And then we have been added this particular small package. Okay, this I am showing that how you can able to make. Okay, how to make your this sample package should be listed into the sys.path file, configuration file. So we should be able to call this import sys, and then we can able to run this program, this part, then automatically in the sys.path it will be appended. Okay. And thereafter if you want you can write the test.py, and there we can able to make this import and use of the modules to be written. And once we are going to be call the modules from the package, how we can do import calci operation. That you can do directly calci operation dot, but that will not going to be that can be accessible. So what they can do, they can go and search into this sample package, or we can make the import sample package, name of the package dot list sum. In this package we are going to be calling the module list dot sum. Now if you want to call the sum function from this list sum module, then we can use the name of that list sum dot get sum and list. Okay. If you want to use the calci operation, we can use the calci operation dot power. Power we are going to use it. Okay. So like that, these packages can be used and created. Now another important thing that we created the package because the number of file which we are creating that will going to become too many, so difficult to manage. So we have been created a small directory, and within that package we are keeping the files to be managed properly. But also it is possible that we are creating multiple folders, and that is difficult to manage. So we can also create a collection of package into one of the library. It means in another folder we are keeping the multiple packages to be collected, and that package will be consist of multiple modules. So such kind of collection of packages is known as the library. Okay, you heard about the different library in the Python perspective, machine learning or AI or data analytics. It means that library is nothing but it is a collection of related functionality of the code which will do some task without writing those functionality in your code. So whatever the reusable chunk of code is there, that can be used by importing those code into our program. So package is basically a collection of modules. Module is nothing but it is the program, some .py program which consists of various variables, functions, classes, and library is going to become a collection of package. Right? So we have the matplotlib, pychart, pygame, pandas, cburn, numpy. So these are the various libraries, and their functionality we will discuss in the coming sessions. Okay. So this is the way we can able to create that. Okay. So we can check. We have the various popular packages are there who are going to provide you lot of functions such as Panda, which are going to provide the various functions related to the machine learning related functionality. NumPy, which are going to provide different kind of n-dimensional array object, where whatever the different kind of operations which we want to perform over the multi-dimensional array, that is going to be provided. SCI-Py, which consists of various modules which are used for the statistics analytical purpose, which have the lots of algebraic, mathematical, and signal processing related modules. And we have the matplotlib, whatever the different kind of scientific plotting which we wanted to be done in our code. So to do some kind of visual plotting of the graph, maybe visual representation of the data, this visualization we can do by analyzing the data. Related to that, graph generation or visual analysis of the data, they are going to be plotted using the various modules which are available into the matplotlib library. We can create a histogram, we can create a scattered graph, we can create a pie chart. So these kind of different kind of graph plotting we can do using the matplotlib library. So whatever the operation we are doing the MATLAB, all those functionality are provided by this particular package, library package. SCI kit learn, which is going to be built on NumPy, SCI-Py, matplotlib, all these are going to be used. Various modules, packages which are going to be used for the data mining perspective. Pandas, which is going to be used for doing the data analysis. In the data analytics, we can use the different kind of operations, modules which are available in the Pandas library. Okay. So we will talk about these different libraries in the perspective of different applications where we are going to use it. Okay. Fine. Now here you can see, just take two examples, then I will just in this session. Now what we did that I will create one of the file as a sq.py. Okay. This sq.py, if I want to show you, see here in this file I created sq.py. Okay. This sq.py, if I want to show you, this consists of the same square, okay, square, function, book and list. So that I created in one of the file square.py. You can see here sq.py. So one module I will create it. Okay, and in this module, whatever functions I created or variable or data structure created, that we want to use in another program. So I am going to be use that module to be imported by calling the import sq. The name module sq is given, and then we are going to use the name of module sq.square file. Okay, and going to give the square of this particular number. If we want to display the list of book, print the book list sq.book. Okay, and now we are able to extract all the functionality which are defined into the square module. Or sometimes we can use sq as short name as s. Now I can write here instead of sq I can write as a s. I can write as a s. as. Now you can see wherever SQ we are required, we are using the alternate name S. Even though if you want, we can use the name of module also. That will also going to work there. Right? Now we are going to be use another module myCalc, which I created. I can show you that myCalc is here. See, this is dot mycalc.py I created here, which consists of various modules of related to the sum, okay, sum, area of rectangle, multiply, maximum, even factorial I will written, okay, and I written also one module to find out the odd even number. If it is odd, display. If it is a even, it can display the even number. So this module consists of many different variables, data types, as well as the different functions, which are created separate in the separate file. If I am trying to write all these in a single file, such like this, we have the maybe 10 or 20 modules, 20 functions are there. So this file is going to become lengthy. So I can clear this into the multiple file as a module. Now we can able to use that one by using the import name of the module myCalc, and then I am using the mycalc.multiply, and I can able to import the functionality of multiply which are implemented into the file mycalc.multiply. That we can use it. There is some indentation error. The code might be there should be some indentation error is came. So this will also show you in which of the code module code it was the problem. Import this import has some problem because this mycalc.py might be in that code I changed yesterday. So might be there should be some indentation error, but that way we can able to call. Remember, this way we can able to import the file. Definitely I will explain tomorrow again, because day after tomorrow only the different kind of libraries packages we are going to discuss, which are going to use for the different applications. Maybe AI ML, maybe deep learning, maybe data analytics, maybe for creating some kind of interactive web applications, okay, or sometimes we can want to create some kind of data parsing or data validation functionality which are required in the different kind of application. So those kind of different application or usage of the Python programming we are going to discuss with the different case system. Okay. There is no limit on how many modules or library you can able to create. Okay. But how much anyone can able to create, it is obvious. So library, you can remember, it is one kind of folder which can consist of multiple packages, and package can consist of multiple package or maybe the file. So any package may consist of the normal module or maybe some sub package which further consists of various modules. Now here you can see this mycalc.mac, because already I imported the mycalc. So in case of Jupyter or Colab, once we have been imported this mycalc, they are going to be binded. So later on we can able to use this mycalc module and use the appropriate function. Otherwise we are required to write here import mycalc. Then only they are going to execute the appropriate module. Okay. Similarly, we can read here as a import mycalc as MC. Okay. So Now here there is some problem with the mic LC as a indentation that I am going to be resolved, and tomorrow I can rerun this code. Okay, so that way you can able to get it. Okay. And if suppose we want to use any ready-made modules from the existing package, so how we can do? We can use the from. So from math import star. Star means that all the modules, all the sub packages which are available in the math, we are going to be using. That's why math is going to become one of the ready-made package. So from math import star. It means any modules I can use it. So what it is doing? We are going to be use the pi some value is defined into the math, and also we want to use the sqrt function which are available, which are going to be available into the math. Okay. So here if I am using this star, automatically they are going to be taken from the math. Otherwise we have to write the math.sqrt. Okay. So ready-made we can use with the clause of from math import star. Okay. Now here you can see the package. Okay. So this package what I did, import sys. In the sys I have appended the place where my package was created, which was created into the D folder. And then we are going to import the operation. Operation is defined basically the sample package. In the sample package operation and so was defined. We'll show you where that package is. In the D folder I defined. So I can able to find out in the D folder. This is available in the D coursework Python and lecture guide. I'll show you here. See here. This is in the folder D coursework Python lecture lab. Here I created this sample package, right? And this sample package, if you want to see what it consists of, detail, this sample package. See this package what consists of. See this one. See this package. I think it will be bigger. This package consists of init, right? Init file is consists of. It does not contain any list operation. Okay, it consists of list operation. It is empty list operation which I am going to create. Say this is consist of some class we have been created some, and also this is consist of operation having the extension py. Check here .py. So this is the py. So is some module which consists of various display function. Display the name ID. Okay. So now this package which I have created attached to the system.path file at the into that file, so that for that particular module Python interpreter are going to search for that particular module within this particular folder. Then I am importing the import operation. Operation. Once I have appended this one sample package, after that we do not require to specify the name of package. So then import operation, import show. Now I can able to use the operation dot sum show dot display. If I am not importing the operation, then we could not able to use these particular functions which are defined into this particular module. Now here we can say using the import operation sample package dot list operation. Although we can also able to make that one of the particular modules to be imported, not all the modules. So I can use the sample package dot into this package list operation modules are there that we are going to use there. Or in the sample package dot show I can use show module. Okay, but in case we are written here as a import operation, so only the modules which are defined into the function which are defined into the operation, that is going to be used there. Okay, so these codes are, I will again run tomorrow to show you the outcome, so that you can feel the confidence that this package and library you can able to create that. Okay, fine. If you have any query, you can ask. Now, Python and shell script both are different. See, shell script we are going to write using the scripting language which was provided by Linux environment, Okay. So both are different. Even though we can write the script using the Python language, so they have the different kind of library and modules. Through that we can able to write scripting like some of the statement that can be possible there. That we can do, we can make in the Python code some of the script or some of the program which are made into the different language, they can be imported or they can be used inside the Python function or module. So that's what there is one of the modules, one of the session we have kept here. How that is known as, I think, Pentic, one of the modules are there. There we will discuss with you how we can able to use some of the code which are made into some other languages, and that we can able to import inside the Python. Okay. That is one kind of wrapper functions are required to be made. That will discuss and included in our session. Okay, regarding this quiz, we are going to be upload this quiz around before 10 o'clock. It means you can assume sharp at 10 o'clock we are going to be announced, and you will get a time to complete this quiz till tomorrow 3 o'clock. Okay, so up to that 3 o'clock tomorrow you will get a time to make this quiz to be attempted by everyone. Okay, and after 3 o'clock I am going to be disabled to attempt the quiz. So you have the sufficient time. So take your time, go and press up and relax, and thereafter you can able to attempt this quiz. And this quiz does not have, yes, up to the 3 p.m. This quiz is not just to give you any kind of score. This quiz I have been plotted just to realize to the participant that how much they are gaining from this session. So I expect that whatever study you did it, thereafter you will try to attempt the quiz. And if you are going to be open from the Google other places and trying to attempt those answers correctly, you may get the 100% score. However, you could not understand where you are going to be like the concept. Okay, so first you try to do all the questions yourself, how much you have the understanding after going through the slides and different material. Okay, so just you try to see that how much you are able to grasp the concepts which are taught in these last few days. Okay, but everyone have to attempt the quiz. So I am not going to be considered that who are getting less marks, who are getting the more marks, but I want that at least, okay, sufficient number of questions definitely going to be solved by everyone. Okay, so attempt this quiz. 10 o'clock we are going to post, and by up to the 3 p.m. tomorrow this will be available. Okay, and still if you have some issue, you can just contact us via the WhatsApp group or maybe the personal message. We are going to be solve your query. Okay. So this much for the today's session. Tomorrow I will again take this view of the package library concept or some example to be scooted for you. Okay. So fine. So I am going to end this session. So good night to all of you. Thank you.